Shabbat Shalom, dear friends. Shabbat Shalom. So good to be with you again. This is Rabbi Elliot Schoenberg, Rabbi of the Jewish Center in Princeton, New Jersey. Nice to have you with us. This week we are reading from Parashat Balak. Parashat Balak is where we have the phrase, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael. How goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. So what's the context here in our Parsha? Balak is very unhappy that the Israelites want to pass through his territory, so he hires the prophet Bilam to curse the Jewish people. Bilam gets up on a mountain overlooking the valley, seeing the people of Israel down below him, and when he opens his mouth to curse, what comes out is the blessing. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael. It's a melody, it's a phrase we all know because it begins our Friday night service here at the center and our Shabbat morning service. So let's play a few bars of it just so we can remind you of what it sounds like. So that's the Ma tovu we all know and we all love, and it's cherished. But what does it mean? So Bilam got up there on the mountain and he went up there to curse, and what came out as a blessing. And our rabbis understand what are the tents of the people who are in the valley. The tents, those are the synagogues of the Jewish people. And what are mishkanotecha? That are the schools. So it is the phrase that says, these are the schools and the synagogues, and God's presence is there. And that's why we use it to open up our services. But there's a second meaning, right? It says the tents, what are the tents? The tents are not the synagogues. The tents are actually our homes. And so it becomes a conditional sentence. So how do our rabbis understand it? They understand that if in our tents, ma tovu, we are good, in our homes, we behave right and ethically, and they are filled with kindness, then mishkanotecha, then our sanctuaries will be filled with God's presence. So God's presence is not automatic in our sanctuary when we open up our services. It depends on how we've lived our lives at home. And then there's a third interpretation. Again, that reverses it, saying that it's kind of a conditional sentence. What are the tents? The tents are how we view our insides, how we view our daily lives, our daily actions. So it's no longer a place. It's no longer the synagogue. It's no longer our home. It's where we are everywhere, where we walk, where we go, and what we do. And if we behave ethically as we conduct our lives, and if we are kind wherever we go, then when we come to the sanctuary, and then when we come to the synagogues, God's presence will be felt. There's a Hasidic story about Rev Zusia. Rev Zusia was in the rabbi's home, in the home of his Rebbe, and when he was there, a beggar came. And Reb Zusia knew this man and knew him to be a sinner, knew him to be a no good. And when he came into the presence in the living room of the rabbi, with the rabbi standing there to make his request, Rabbi Zusia yelled at him and said, "How could you be here? You're a sinner, you're a no good. I know you lie and cheat and do all these terrible things." And the man ran out of the house. And the Rebbe turned to him and says, "You need to understand the verse. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov. You need to see the goodness in everyone. You need to see even in the sinner and even in the no good. You need to see ma tovu, what is good in them. And then God will dwell in our sanctuary and God will be with us wherever we go." Shabbat Shalom, dear friends. When we gather around the Shabbat table and we gather our family with us, let us love them, let us hug them, let us be with them, and let us teach them Ma tovu ohalecha, to be good wherever we are, in our lives, in our homes, and in our synagogues. Shabbat Shalom.